Hello everyone, this is Ben Coleman, one of your many hosts here on the Florida Aviation Network, here at the beautiful Lakeland Linder International Airport. I didn't realize that we had to transition here recently. It's no longer regional, it's international airport. So it's just growing pains, but the airport has just done so well. Gene Conrad is to be commended about all the good work he's done. He and his staff, it's not just Gene. It takes many, many people to do good things. And he's just the leader of the pack, just like we have the leader of the pack here, Obie Young, in the back, with all of our minions of volunteers, even Tyler behind camera too. He always gets shy when I call him out like that. But we appreciate our volunteers, and volunteerism spirit is alive and well. And you know, there's just so many things going on here at the 45th Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo that it's hard to encapsulate it in just one program or one show that we bring to you here. But we try to take little slivets of everything going on, and I think we're successfully doing that. Are we, guys?
Yes.
Do we get a thumbs up?
Yes.
Okay. We are doing well on getting the cross sections of everything going on. Manufacturers, vendors, suppliers, enthusiasts. We have people walking around here that's never seen airplanes before, but they just say, "What's all the buzz?" And after they spend a little bit of time here on the show, I run them down and say, "Well, what did you think?" We're just blown away. We had no idea there was this much activity going on. And so that's how we're going to proliferate this industry and really keep it moving forward, just like it has been for many, many years. Speaking of many, many years, I have a gentleman here that's going to share with us some of his many, many years and some of the aspects that he's seen from a missionary flight standpoint, and some of the missions that they fly. And I don't know if Dick will be able to get into some of those real intricate missions that they do, but I'm telling you what, he could write a book. I think he has. Dick Snook.
Thank you, Ben. Good to see you.
Dick, it's always good to see you, and we go back a few years.
We do.
And,
that's great, and we appreciate Sun and Fun inviting us and allowing us to come with our aircraft, and we have a great time out there sharing what we do and sharing the aircraft. It's very unique, as you know.
Well, Dick, MFI,
MFI.
That's the abbreviation,
Yes.
MFI. Tell us what MFI is all about.
Well, MFI flies air support to about 480 faith-based missions that live in Haiti. We're based in Fort Pierce, Florida, so that's where our hangars are, and we fly the airplanes out of there. It's also an international airport, so all of our flights are international, of course. But so if anyone listening was a missionary family, they would use our address for all their mail, their cargo, everything comes to us. All these 480 missions, which represents close to 1,000 people. And then we resort the mail into missionaries' boxes, and so they're mail boxes. Then the day before the flight, we pull it all out, put it in mail bags, away we go. They also use our address, of course, for all their shipments of supplies, medical supplies, equipment, solar panels, motorcycles, whatever they need to operate in Haiti, generators and so forth. That all comes in. So FedEx, UPS, truck lines, the mail, everything comes to our door every day. And so we do about 850,000 pounds of supplies a year, and we fly to 3,000 to 4,000 people in and out. And also, these are work teams and so forth. So our motto is we stand in the gap for missions where we find it, and that's what it is. A missionary needs something in Haiti. Obviously, there's no Sam's Clubs or Office Depots or Home Depots.
No Walmarts.
No Walmarts. We have a purchasing department. They just send us an email. What do you need? I need a toner cartridge for my printer. Okay, we'll go buy one, send down the next flight.
Wow.
So we're just a general, all-purpose mission supply organization.
Dick, I tell you, with all moving that much tonnage around, it's got to be. You probably have 3 or 4 yachts all around the world.
Oh yeah, sure.
Making all kinds of money.
No, not hardly.
And it is. I was trying. That was your segue to tell me it was a 501c3.
It is a 501c3 nonprofit. And everybody that works there, including myself, I've been there 32 years, going on 33 in June, we have to raise our own support. So we're missionaries supporting missionaries. I don't get a salary from Missionary Flights. The only salaries we pay are some of the office girls, so it would be difficult for them to go raise support. But all the families, the pilots, mechanics, everybody starts out a year or so before they actually start flying with us, raising their support from church budgets that'll help them, or family or friends, whoever. Of course, the donor gets a write-off for it, and then our staff can live on that salary. So none of that means that we don't have to pass any of that on to the missions. So they've got a great deal. And so we do. The missions do pay us a little bit per pound or per person. That simply pays the operational cost of the airplane that day. If you take our airplanes and our staff, put it in the hangar, shut the doors, we could exist. By the donations that come in, we stay there.
Excellent.
And when we fly the airplanes, then they help us. If we have to buy another airplane, we raise the funds for that directly to MFI and give out donations for that. So it's a great ministry, not just because I'm there, but it's a lifeline to the mission community in Haiti, especially Haiti and Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. We also fly there, but of course Haiti is the most desperate country and close to the United States,
Sure.
and so we need a lot of help in Haiti, and we're there to do it.
Well, Dick, I understand operating these DC-3s, your pilots have got to just always be walking on cloud nine. Their takeoff, the landing, and some of the strips. I believe we have some B-roll to show just some of the conditions that you fly in and out of, and some of the procedures that you use.
We've had DC-3s. MFI started in '64, so it's 55 years old. A single engine pilot, one guy flying small trips to Bahamas and back, eventually twin beaches, and then DC-3s about 75 or 6. Of course, they're all piston DC-3s then.
And now, for our radio audience, we're looking at a DC-3 takeoff. What strip is that, Dick?
That's a Pigon, P-I-G-N-O-N, Haiti. It's out in the Central Plateau. From Cape Haitian, where we have to land for customs to enter the country, it takes about 3.5 hours to drive through to Pigon because of low water crossings, no bridges, rough roads, terrible conditions. We fly in 13 minutes in the DC-3.
Wow.
Same thing.
And
so we're land there mostly once or twice a week. It's about a 3,800 foot strip. We only use about half of it. Originally we had piston DC-3s. I made the first landing in there after they redid the runways, an old military runway from years ago, and they had to clear all the trees and clear it out. And now we fly turbine DC-3s, which really revolutionized the aircraft. DC-3s is a very good aircraft anyway, but you put turbine engines on it, we stretch the fuselage, we put a gross weight kit on it, we can go to 29,000 pounds now, and they just do the job.
It's quite a workhorse.
It is. They've never built an airplane to replace the DC-3 because of the conventional gear and the size it is. We can haul decent loads. The cargo door in DC-3 is 7 feet wide, 6 feet high at the beginning of the door, and it tapers with the fuselage down to about 5. So we put four-wheelers, motorcycles, generators. We haul horses sometimes. We've hauled goats. We hauled a cow the other day.
How do you
Not
moor,
with passengers.
How do you moor a cow in a DC-3?
How do you get a cow in DC-3?
How do you moor them? How, do you
Well,
get them laid
what
out?
we did, it was a miniature cow.
Oh, okay.
She's only about, I don't know, maybe 4 foot high at the shoulders. And we built a crate for her. Real nice solid crate, put her in there so she's free to be in the crate. We understand when we got her there and gave her over to the missionary, they took the crate and made a little barn out of it so she had a door she could get in and out so she could stay. I haven't heard much about her since.
But you just strap the crate down. I'm sure you got anchor
yeah,
points.
oh yeah, we got anchors in the floor. We have a cargo netting system in the airplane, so small packages or suitcases or anything that weighs 50, 60 pounds or less, we just put them behind the netting and secure it. It's a STC approved netting system. There's just tracks in the ceiling, tracks in the floor, and it just seals it all. If we have something large or like the animals, a big generator or whatever, we literally strap it to the floor. And the flooring is all secured, all approved, STC and so forth. So we configure the airplane different for almost every flight. If we're hauling some passengers, we got seats, of course, and the cargo nettings for their baggage. If we haul cargo, we take that out, move the nettings over where the seats would be and fill it full of cargo. So every flight's different. We only carry the number of seats we need. If we have 20 people going, we've got 10 doubles. That's 20 people. And each seat weighs 40 pounds. So instead of carrying empty seats, we'd obviously rather carry cargo or mail or something else. So we reconfigure the airplane every flight.
And you just mentioned something several times about FAA approved.
Yes.
And You know, we're all about safety here
Sure.
at the Florida Aviation Network.
Yeah.
And you, we were discussing earlier that you do operate under a 125,
Yes,
FAA Part 125
Yes,
certificate,
right. Yeah,
which is the
125
old travel club, but
Right,
it's
yeah.
not on demand or
Right.
flying for hire.
It's like, yeah, it's like contract work
Sure.
type thing, yeah.
And you know, there's not too many of those 125 certificates
No, there's not.
around.
In fact, years ago, when we flew DC, we were deviated from 125, Part 91. But a few years back, I don't know, 2005 or 6, the FAA changed that, did away with that. Everybody's got to go to 125. There's a 125 LOTA, which is less restrictive, and then there's a straight 125. And we are the 125. So we have all the authority we need to do that. The FAA is in our hangar probably every other month. You know, with their flight department people and their maintenance people, seeing what we do. There's a group called Mission Safety International. They're specific to mission organizations. There's MAF and JARS and all these mission groups flying around the world. And a few years back, they formed this MSI, and they have their own people, their own board, and their own, you know, agenda. And they come in about every other year to all the missions that they serve, and they examine everything we're doing. They stay all week. They look at everything we're doing, how we're operating, how we're loading the airplanes, how we're maintaining the airplanes. They interview every staff member for up to 1 or 2 hours sometimes about their position, what they do, what do they think we could do better as a mission, what do they think is unsafe at MFI. So we go through all this, and then they write up a critique and suggestions of what they do. They don't have any clout as far like the FAA would have, but we abide by what they say. We think that's important because in this same grouping, we have an insurance policy amongst all the mission aviation group. You know, when you go to a company to look for aviation insurance, you tell them you fly over the ocean in a 75-year-old airplane, you land in a third world country and land on grass strips. They look at you like, there's no way I'm going to insure you. Well, MSI has worked it out with insurance companies that know what we do, work with us, and I remember in years past, I used to sweat every year when the insurance came due. Now these guys understand us. They are specific to us. We have to report to them. If we're required to do this MSI safety thing, so it's part of the insurance as well as our own well-being. So, and the FAA knows we're doing that. So it just, whatever it takes to be safe. We've never killed anybody. And in 55 years, no one's gotten hurt.
That's a testament.
So, it is, praise the Lord.
This is a wooden chair here.
Is it? Okay, good. Well, okay.
And again, the FAA is they're kind of turning around. We're seeing a kinder, sweeter side of the FAA.
Yes, we are. Yeah,
to where when they see people that are doing the thing the right way, and you've got your group, your investigative group, MSI.
MSI, yeah.
And they are objective. I mean, they don't have an axe to grind.
No.
They don't get any benefits from turning in bad reports on you.
Right.
But they want to see you doing it right.
Yes.
And
well.
And you were the president. Now you're president emeritus.
President emeritus. Yeah.
But you still coming back. You still working.
Oh yes, yeah. Like air shows like this, and also my wife and I have a small motorhome, and of course we're a 501c3, like we mentioned. We have churches and corporations and people all around the United States that support this ministry. And just like anything else, they need a report. I often look at that as if we were a for-profit corporation, we had shareholders. You report to those shareholders, tell them what you've been doing last year, what you're going to do next year. Well, we have shareholders at Missionary Flights. They are donors, and they need to know, what did we do last year with the monies they sent us? We give them reports, we show videos. What are you going to do next year? We're going to buy another airplane, or we're going to go to this country, or add something to it. So then they say, okay, we'll stick with you. So that's, if we're not out there, they don't understand or know that. And so that's what my wife and I do. We travel about 6 months. Last year was 8,000 miles and 30 churches, 2 or 3 air shows, flight schools. We go to flight school to kind of encourage them to think about mission aviation, pilot schools, because sometimes young people, young trainees don't really understand mission aviation or never heard much about it. And after they hear about it, they decide, hey, that's kind of exciting. You know?
Well, they probably have in the word of mouth of, hey, you want to build a lot of time, go fly Missionary Flights and build some good experience.
Yeah, it is. And and it's
where do you find your pilots, Dick?
Well, Moody Aviation has a flight school. Liberty University has a mission aviation flight school. Laterno has one. There's a few smaller little schools around, kind of a private, maybe they do 10 or 15 students a year through. We're unique in that also most mission organizations like us require the A&P mechanics license with the pilot's license. And so these schools I've mentioned, they offer that along with it. So when the student gets out, he's got his commercial pilot certificate, he's got an A&P mechanics license. Because you might imagine going to third world countries, there's no DC-3 mechanic standing on the shade tree waiting for you to arrive, you know. So if it breaks down, guess who's going to work on it? We are. Yeah. And then, of course, we work on it at the home base as well. We fly every Tuesday and Thursday, for sure, and then often in between. But so Mondays and Wednesdays is a maintenance day and a loading day. Mechanics are going through the aircraft and doing the inspections. And then we fly. And usually on Friday, if there's a 2-day inspection, they'll tear it down Friday and Monday and have it back in the air for Tuesday.
That's what a system.
We've got to figure it out. Yeah,
what a system.
We've got to figure it out.
And it works. And
it works.
I had the privilege of working with Dynamic Aviation.
Oh yes, those guys are great. I've known them a long time. In fact, we bought 2 of our piston DC-3s from Carl Stoltzfus Dynamic, and K&K they call it then.
Yeah.
So I've known Carl and the Stoltzfus family many years. They've been valuable to us in their expertise and advice and getting airplane parts and whatever.
Well, they also utilize that aspect of pilot mechanic.
Yes, they do.
And sometimes it's hard to find that combination.
It is.
However, once you do get a good mechanic that's a pilot, or a good pilot that's a mechanic,
it well rounds them for the airplane.
Sure.
When a new pilot mechanic raises his support and he comes to us, the first 6 months he does nothing but maintenance.
He or she.
He or she, yes. Yeah. We've had a few gals talk to us, but no one's come yet. We're one of these days. Just in fact, a couple weeks ago, a girl come down that's getting out of school, going to go to flight school and training, and she stayed with my wife and I for a week and learned more about missions and missionary flights, flew to Haiti. So we keep waiting for that girl that's going to come along that can apply and see how it goes. But so the first 6 months they work in maintenance only. They learn the systems on the airplanes, and then we start training them as co-pilots, of course, and eventually a few years they get up to captains.
Well, I can think of a few worse places to live and dwell and operate rather than
South
Fort Pierce.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you got some beautiful runways,
2
beautiful
miles
water.
from the beach.
And as a matter of fact,
we are taking off.
For our radio audience, we've got a mission. Looks like it's launching out of Fort Pierce right there.
Yeah, it is. There's the other one taxiing by. We often usually send 2 at the same time.
And that's a safety factor, or?
No, we load them, and one might go to Santiago, Dominican Republic first, and then back to Haiti. Then might go to Haiti. They launch about the same time, around 7 in the morning, and generally get back about 6 in the evening. Even though they may have gone different ways, they're usually within 50 to 100 miles of each other most of the time. The nice thing about it is, if one had an issue, then the other can go bail it out. That doesn't happen so much with the turbines. They're very reliable, but we have had piston situations where they had an engine issue. So the other airplane that was out there would go pick up their people and bring them home if it's passengers and so forth. So.
And of course you got November 911.
Oh yes, yep. We got the Cessna 310. It's 911 Mike Fox, and we named it that because it's obviously used for emergencies. People, we've had broken hips, strokes, appendicitis, whatever. If we don't have a DC-3 in Haiti, we'll use the 310 to go down on weekends or whatever, pick somebody up, or take parts down to rescue an airplane. So it's a good runabout airplane, and we also take pastors or youth leaders that want to take a youth team maybe to the Bahamas, but they've never been out there themselves yet and want to find out what there is to do there, what the kids are going to do. So we'll fly them out, spend a few hours with the missionary there, and say we're going to do this, this, and this. And he goes home and brings the kids. We put on a DC-3 and head out.
Dick, I don't know, from this perspective, it sounds like a well-oiled machine. That every now and then I'm sure they're going to have a hiccup.
Sure.
But if you have the right training and the right attitude, you're going to fork it out.
That's right. Well, my background is Air Force, Vietnam, C-47s in Vietnam. So I kind of brought that into Missionary Flights when I came. The discipline and the just everything aspect about it, being efficient. We're a nonprofit. We can't afford to throw money out the door. So our flights, I would say probably not over 4 or 5 flights a year go out of Fort Pierce less than gross weight. Almost every flight's gross weight. And we plan it that way just to make sure that we're being efficient with the fuel, the burn. Costs as much to fly an empty airplane as does a full one, so you better have it at full. And that way it's more efficient to everybody. And it's worked 55 years now, and they're still going.
Well, and I'm sure you've had some wingtip brushes with trees and little scrapes and little bumps and scrapes.
Usually that happens when we're doing relief flights. We do a lot of relief flights when there's a hurricane or an earthquake somewhere in the Caribbean or Central America, we'll get involved usually for the first week or 10 days. That's when it's the worst. Everybody's kind of bewildered. What do I get some food? What do I need some water? Everything's polluted. Food and water and different baby food, generators. We flew several flights to Puerto Rico be 2 years this fall, yeah. After Maria went through, we brought 120 people out that were sick and injured. We always work with the churches, by the way. Sometimes people say, well, when stuff gets there, does the government just take it and you never see it again? No, we work through churches. We don't. The government's there. They have customs. Usually in relief flights, customs does not charge anything, but they're there. They want to see what you're getting off, and that's fine. But it goes to the churches, and the churches then distribute it. They know where the hurting people are. When the earthquake hit Haiti, we went from 4 to 5 flights a week to 7 flights a day.
Wow.
Joe Gibbs Racing got involved with us, Hendricks Motorsport. They brought 3 passenger planes down, did all the flying, no charge. We chartered C-130s 8 times. We had DC-6s going, DC-4s, our DC-3s. Typically by 10 o'clock in the morning, we'd have 5 airplanes on the way to Haiti.
That's a lot of hops.
It was amazing, yeah. And the nice thing is that when the military was there too, hauling in stuff, they had a lot of stuff piled along the taxiway and the ramp, because then they had to have another set of orders to figure out where it's going to go. Well, we have all these missionaries there.
Sure.
When they know we're coming and they need the supplies, they just show up with their trucks and they got the medical supplies, whatever they need, the food, whatever we've taken that went out. We could drop a C-130 in there at 8 o'clock in the morning, 50,000 pounds on it, and by 5 o'clock that afternoon, it's all distributed to people.
Wow,
it's
that's
gone.
efficient.
It's gone, yeah.
Dick, which one, do you have November 500 MF here?
Yes, no, 200 this time.
200?
Yeah,
200 Mike
That was
Fox, right.
original turbine DC-3. Yeah.
Well, Dick, I think I'd like to walk out to the flight line and just take a look at your airplane.
Well, that'd be great.
As a matter of fact, you're welcome to. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You can't join us because you're not here at Sun and Fun.
No, that's right.
We need to get these guys that are guys together that are watching this, and let's go to the flight line and look over your beautiful machine.
Beautiful airplane.
And meet some of your people.
Yep, we got a great staff, volunteers. Just MFI has been a real bless. We've been a blessing, and we've been blessed over the years. We have 2 hangars, a 28,000 and a 14,000. 3 turbine DC-3s and a 310, and no debt.
Well, we're going to get into paying it forward.
Good.
Out there on the flight
Thanks,
line.
Ben.
Thank you, Dick. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to sign off from this interview, and give me a little bit of time to get out to the flight line, take a look at November 200 Mike Foxtrot, and look it up. Look up this organization. You might be able to help them someday, if you're lucky, and if you're worthy, and if they select you. So, keep your grades up out there. Take care, guys.